Thank you.
Yeah, my name's Bob McIlvaine. I'm from the Philadelphia area. My son happens every time. He was murdered on 9/11. Trust me, I've spoken all around the world. I can't get through this part. But I've evolved into the point where it's more difficult because he was murdered by my government.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, when we say an inside job, it was orchestrated by the United States government. That's what I believe, I know. And no one has proven me differently, or my feelings differently. I went to every commission hearing. That's all I do is read and research. And I'm 100%, I used to say 95%, I used to say 98%. Now I say I'm 100% positive that our government orchestrated the murder of my son. Now I know people here don't believe that, but everyone, please look at me. My son was murdered. Now look at your family. If you all have children, anyone that has children, and you never get an investigation about the murder of your child, or your wife, or your husband. Ben Venice, I was sitting in the cafeteria with him, with press around him. He said, you must remember, this was not an investigation. This is not an investigation. This is merely an exposition. I'm sitting there, my son was murdered, and this is an exposition. What do you find in an exposition? They put things on the table and you look at it, and you make your own decisions. So here, show and tell. So here the United States government, supposedly investigating the murder of my son, and just think of it, how you would feel. I was livid. Coming out of those investigations, I still have that unbelievable anger. And the idea that you're doing this, what you're doing now, it's heart-rending for me. Because I get so depressed, so down. Because my neighbors don't want to talk about it. People don't talk to me anymore. Because they're afraid of finding something out about 9/11. It's too difficult for them. It's too overwhelming. So the fact that people like you are actually, and the peace movement, I was part of September 11th Family for Peaceful Tomorrows. I had the wonderful opportunity to speak in Japan. I've been to Colombia, talking at conferences on violence, saying that we have to stop the murder of innocent civilians. That's what war is all about now. Innocent civilians die. My son is an innocent civilian. He died. Why? Well, I used to talk about it was because of blowback. That was my first theory. People hate us. They did this because of blowback. Well, we all know the history of our foreign policy. It's horrendous. We are the actual terrorists. We've been terrorists for the last 100 years. And for anyone to think that our government wouldn't do what they did on 9/11 is crazy. It's changed the world, and the world's going to be changed for the next 100 years. With all the respect I have, David, when he speaks of impeachment, that worries me. Because he said, hopefully 9/11 will be talked about. Well, I want justice. This is what it's all about. My son was murdered. Close to 3,000 people were murdered. And I know some people here don't believe it, but our government was involved in it. And they will do it again, and they will continually do it again. And I think Barbara made the great point, if we do have impeachment, it can't be impeachment, he has to be court-martialed. He has to go to jail. Right. That's what justice is about. And I don't think it's all about Bush. Well, you have to look at all our presidents. They are part of that system, the have and the have-nots. The system isn't being broken, it is broken. The roots are rotten. It has to be dug up, and I don't know what the answer is, but it's starting right here. But to me, 9/11 is such an integral part of it, because to me, that's their Achilles heel. If we can prove that these people are murderers, what's the rest of the world going to think? And the congressmen, they're just as big a part of it, because they're lying to us.
That's right. Yeah.
against the war, against all wars. But I think you all been around long enough, the Democrats make war just as much as the Republicans. In fact, they make more war.
Yep.
Okay? It's been going on forever. So don't ever believe that we stopped the war in Iraq, that this is going to stop. One more terrorist act, and they'll have us all believing we have to go to war again, and you know it's coming.
Yep.
So that's why I truly, truly believe 9/11 has to be an integral part of the whole philosophy that we're trying to, or the whole strategy that we're trying to come up with. Because if we don't prove that these people are criminals, the government is evil.
Right.
It has done evil things, and somehow, some way, that has to be brought down. And the only way to do it to me is 9/11, personally. Okay?